listeners. My name is Leela Thompson. I was 17. On the night of April 12th, something unexpected happened. One moment,
I was texting my best friend about the latest TikTok trend, laughing at memes, scrolling through posts, and the next I was gone. The car spun out of control on the wet asphalt, lights blurring, tires screaming, and then a sudden, terrifying stillness. I woke somewhere strange, not like a dream, not like sleep. It was bright, but not painful. Warm, but not stifling. I felt my chest rising and falling without effort. There was no fear, only awareness. And then I saw him, Jesus. He didn't look like the pictures in church or the old stained glass windows. There was no flowing robe, no halo, no long hair. His presence was light and sound at once, radiating calm and power that touched me at the core of my being. I felt every fear I had ever carried melt away. Every worry about failing exams, being left out, or not being liked vanished in a heartbeat. "Lila," he said, not with a voice I could hear, but a message that settled into my heart. "I need to show you something urgent." Suddenly, I was moving. The hospital, the paramedics, the beeping machines, it all blurred. Instead, I was shown screens, thousands of them, millions, faces I knew, strangers I didn't, all scrolling, posting, liking, judging. The energy of it was addictive, a pull that chained hearts and minds. I realized instantly, social media was not just a place to connect, it was a battlefield. He revealed to me the invisible shadows that fed on envy, comparison, and loneliness. They whispered in every post, every comment, every notification. "You're not enough. You're behind. You are missing out." And I saw how easily people, especially my peers, obeyed, letting those whispers shape their self-worth. "I need you to see the truth," Jesus said. "The heart of this darkness is subtle. It doesn't scream, it seduces." I felt the weight of that statement settle over me. Every friend I had lost to insecurity, every fight I had had over trivial things online, every moment I had compared myself to someone else, it was all connected. The shadows weren't just algorithms. They were spiritual, feeding on what people allowed them to feed on. Fear, pride, envy, and anger. He showed me children, teens, even adults, locked in endless scrolling, eyes glazed, hearts closing. They were exchanging their joy, their peace, their innocence, for moments of validation that left them emptier than before. And then he showed me a way to fight back. Not with anger, not with confrontation, but with awareness and love. "You have been given a second chance," he told me. "Go back, speak, warn them, protect their hearts." And then the pull began. The warm, radiant light receded. I felt my body again, lying in the wreck, paramedics shouting, my pulse returning, my chest burning from the trauma. I opened my eyes to the harsh fluorescent lights of the hospital, tubes and monitors everywhere. Pain, fear, reality. I had been gone for almost 10 minutes, dead, and yet alive again. But I carried something no one in that room could see. A message, a mission. "Tell them," I whispered, even though my throat hurt and my voice was weak. "Tell them what I saw." As I lay there in the hospital bed, my body aching, my mind spinning, the vision returned. I was no longer in the room. I was floating above cities, towns, bedrooms, classrooms, watching people glued to their phones, faces illuminated by blue light, eyes wide and unblinking, fingers tapping, swiping, liking, scrolling. And then I saw the truth of what was happening. Every like was a tiny hook, every notification, a tug on the heart. The shadows Jesus had shown me earlier, they weren't imaginary, they were real. They fed on comparison, jealousy, and fear. I saw kids crying alone in their rooms because someone posted something that made them feel invisible. Teens spiraling into sadness after seeing perfect vacations, perfect bodies, perfect lives that weren't real. And I understood. Social media wasn't just a tool, it had become a weapon. Jesus appeared beside me again. His presence was calm, steady, and strong, and yet there was sorrow in his eyes. "This is why I sent you back," he said, "to show them before it is too late. The darkness is subtle, but it spreads quickly." He guided me over one girl, sitting in her bedroom. Her phone buzzed constantly. Every notification filled her with anxiety. Her thoughts whispered, "I'm not good enough. I'll never be popular. They are better than me." The shadows danced around her, invisible to everyone but me, growing stronger with every negative thought she believed. "You see it, don't you?" Jesus asked gently. "The hearts of the young are fragile. The digital world has become a testing ground for their souls." Then, he showed me another vision. A boy, 17 like me, sitting at a dinner table, ignoring his family, scrolling through endless feeds. He was angry, lonely, comparing himself to everyone he saw online. And in that anger, I saw tiny sparks of darkness enter his heart. "Each choice," Jesus said, "to follow envy, to believe lies, to reject love, allows this shadow to grow. It is not the devices, it is the heart that is open to it." I felt a wave of fear. How can I help them? How can anyone fight this? I asked. Jesus' hand brushed my shoulder. Warm, certain. "You do not fight with anger or fear. You fight with awareness, prayer, and love. Speak truth to those who will listen. Protect their hearts. Show them there is light. Show them that they are loved." He then showed me flashes of real hope. Teens putting down their phones, hugging parents, writing letters to friends instead of texts, helping someone in need. The shadows recoiled from the light of kindness, the whispers weakened by empathy. The power of love, Jesus showed me, was stronger than any dark pull of the digital world. And then, just as quickly as the vision had come, I was back in my hospital bed. My chest ached, my throat was dry, but the message was clear. I was chosen not to escape, but to return and warn, to guide, and to remind the world that even amidst endless scrolling, hearts can be saved. "Don't let them miss it," Jesus whispered to me one last time. "Even one heart restored can change the course of many. Go, Lila. Go and wake them up." I closed my eyes and felt a surge of determination. My life had been spared, not for me, but for them. I woke with a jolt. My body felt heavy, every limb sore, my chest burning as if the world had pressed down on me while I was gone. The beeping machines were loud, frantic, and I realized the hospital lights were stabbing my eyes. I tried to speak, but my voice was weak, a raspy whisper I could barely hear, and yet, in the midst of pain, a strange calm filled me. The warmth of the light I had seen, the presence of Jesus, was still lingering somewhere deep inside me. It wasn't gone. It had followed me back. The first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was my mother, kneeling beside my bed. Her face was wet with tears. "Lila, oh my God, you're alive." Her voice shook. I wanted to tell her everything. The tunnel, the light, the warnings, but my throat only croaked. My father rushed in, pale and exhausted, his eyes wide. I squeezed my mother's hand, and somehow, it felt like a promise. I had been given a second chance, and I knew I couldn't waste it. In the following days, as I recovered physically, the visions didn't leave me. I could see, almost like a projection, the people around me, their hearts flickering in and out with the same shadows I had seen in the other world. Kids and teens, scrolling endlessly on their phones, faces lit with blue light, eyes glassy, thoughts poisoned by comparison. A boy in my class posted a picture of his new sneakers. I could see the tiny, sharp arrows of envy stabbing his friends as they scrolled past. A girl on Instagram watched the perfect vacation photos of someone she barely knew, and her self-worth deflated with every swipe. I tried to tell my parents what I had seen. At first, they thought I was hallucinating, a product of trauma. But when I described the patterns, the shadows, the whispers, the poison in their hearts, they got silent. They didn't understand fully, but they could see the urgency in my eyes. One night, I had a dream that was so real, it made my waking hours pale. I was back in that realm of light, standing beside Jesus again. He didn't speak at first. He simply showed me families divided by phones, friendships broken by jealousy, communities poisoned by the lies and anger that spread faster than fire. Every tap, every like, every scroll fed the shadows. And yet, in every dark place, he showed me a spark, a moment of choice. A kid putting down the phone to hug a sibling. A teenager calling an old friend. A stranger helping another in need. These sparks glowed like stars against the darkness. Small, but fiercely alive. "Do you see it, Lila?" Jesus asked. His voice was both a whisper and a roar in my soul. Every heart you touch, every act of love you inspire, pushes back the shadows. But it must be intentional. It must be daily. The world has become addicted to distraction, to envy, to anger. You've been sent to remind them that light is stronger. I felt a surge of determination. But how? They're so lost, I whispered, tears spilling again. They don't even notice it. You start with one, he said simply. One act, one heart, one conversation at a time. Don't underestimate the ripple effect of mercy. Over the next week, as I slowly regained strength, I began small. I reached out to friends who seemed trapped in loneliness. I encouraged them to put down their devices for a moment, to breathe, to see the world and each other. Some laughed, some ignored me, some looked at me like I was crazy, but a few did pause. And I could see it, just a tiny spark, and that spark felt like hope itself. The warning Jesus had given me burned inside. The shadows are real. The darkness is patient. Social media isn't evil, but it amplifies what is in our hearts. Every jealousy, every anger, every thought of worthlessness is magnified. And just like the killer I had seen in heaven, if hearts choose the shadow, it can grow until the light seems impossible to find. But he also showed me the power of love, of choice. One small action, one prayer, one word of encouragement could weaken the shadow, even in the hardest heart. And that became my mission. I had been given a second chance, a warning, and a responsibility. I could no longer be passive. I realized then that my near-death experience wasn't just about seeing heaven or escaping death. It was about being shown the battlefield of the heart. The real fight wasn't in the world outside, it was inside every mind, every soul, and I had been chosen to help shine the light. And as I drifted into sleep that night, I whispered a prayer, hoping the world would listen. May your light reach them before the shadows take hold. May hearts awaken to love, not envy, not fear, not anger. Show them, Lord, before it's too late. I opened my eyes to the morning sun streaming through my bedroom window. Everything looked normal. My posters, my phone, the clutter of teenage life, but I knew nothing would ever be the same. I could still feel the warmth of the light from heaven resting inside me, a quiet reminder of the mission I had been given. School felt different now. I watched my classmates scroll through their phones, comparing themselves, arguing in comments, letting anger bubble over for likes and validation. I felt a pang in my chest. The shadows Jesus had shown me were real, and I could see how easily they crept into hearts. The first test came that very day. A friend of mine, Ava, had posted something cruel about another student. I felt the urge to join in, to scroll past, to ignore it, but I remembered the light. I took a deep breath and typed something different, something kind, something that reminded her there was another way to respond. My fingers trembled as I hit send. I didn't know if it would matter. It did. Ava's expression softened. She deleted the post and thanked me. That small spark, so tiny, felt like a star had ignited in the darkness. I realized then that this was the battlefield, not the cafeteria gossip, not the viral memes, not even the arguments in class, but the hearts of those around me. The days that followed were hard. I tried to reach kids who were lonely, who were addicted to the endless scroll, who had been hurt by cruelty online. Some laughed, some ignored me, some mocked my attempts, but a few listened. And when they did, I could see the shadows in their eyes flicker, weaken, if only for a moment. Social media didn't change overnight, and the darkness didn't disappear. But I had learned something powerful. Love, mercy, and kindness were not weak. They were weapons. Each post, each comment, each conversation offered a chance to resist the poison. One evening, I sat with my little brother in the living room. He was frustrated about a mean comment he had seen online. I held his hand, and whispered the truth I had learned in that brilliant place of light. The shadows will always try to trick you. They want you to believe you are alone, that anger is stronger than love. But love is real, and it's stronger than anything. He looked at me, eyes wide. I didn't need to say more. He understood, and I knew then that even small actions mattered. One person reaching out could spark change in ways I might never fully see. I still think about heaven often, about the tunnel of light, about the warnings and visions. But now, instead of fear, I feel purpose. My death was not the end. It was a beginning, a chance to act, to shine light into a world drowning in shadows. And I know this for certain, the choice is ours. Every day, we decide whether to feed the shadows or to spread the light. It isn't easy, it isn't always fast, but it is real, and it is powerful. I will never forget what Jesus showed me. I have returned, alive, to remind the world, the darkness is patient, but so is the light, and I am choosing to fight for the light. One heart, one click, one conversation at a time. Wake up, I whisper to anyone who will listen. The light is real. You are not alone, and you are loved more than you can imagine.